Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, July 10th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, South Carolina lowers its Confederate flag, ending an era for the Deep South. The flag had flown outside of the statehouse for more than 50 years, a symbol of both resistance and racial animosity. The decision to bring it down comes only 23 days after 9 black worshipers were gunned down inside of their church. CTV asked people in Upper Marlboro how they felt about today's gesture.
I grew up, seeing the Confederate flag and, things of that nature. I am happy that it is, taken down.
I think that it's a nice gesture considering what happened with the shooting at the church.
I think it's a move forward. Yeah, it's moving. It's going to, project some type of change. Whether it'll change everything, I'm really not sure. But it is a step forward.
It definitely needs to go down. It's been too long. I think we're kind of over that at this point. So it's kind of time to move on. It's a different day and age. So it just doesn't represent. It represents a negative side of American history, essentially.
And the flag will be held at a museum near the South Carolina State Capitol.
Meanwhile, Governor Larry Hogan voicing support for the removal of the flag in South Carolina, but says more extreme measures would be, quote, political correctness run amok. At a press conference yesterday, the governor said he thinks some things go too far and questioned where we draw the line.
We want to be sensitive to people's feelings. We want to not do anything to be offensive, at least at the state level. People have the right of free speech. We don't want to step on their rights to express their rights. So it's a long, complicated, you could get into hours-long discussion about what we should and shouldn't do. But I think it's starting to get to the point where it's gone too far. When people say
Hogan says he's heard calls for removal of various relics in the state, from statues to digging up Confederate cemeteries.
Our history. So what you say, let's take down the Tawney statue out. We have Thurgood Marshall on this side and Tawney on that side. They're both part of our history, right? We just opened a couple of days ago the old Senate chamber where George Washington resigned his commission. George Washington was a slave owner. Should we remove him from the State House? How far does it go? At some point.
And Hogan's administration is taking steps to remove state-issued license plates that bear the image of the Confederate flag. He says only about 160 people will be affected by that effort.
Bids for building the Purple Line have been pushed back to November. State officials expect to choose a winner by early next year, and once the Board of Public Works approves that winning company, construction could begin in late spring. The agency pushed back the mid-August deadline so that 4 teams of private companies competing for the project could incorporate the state's recent cost-cutting changes.
And police chiefs and community organizers from around the country gathered at the nation's capital to talk community policing. The Police Executive Research Forum, which is law enforcement think tank, hosted the event at the museum. The day-long forum examined ways to strengthen police-community relationships. Among those attending, Chief Mark McGaw of Prince George's County.
What I'm hearing a lot about is engaging young adults, because it seems across the country young adults don't have a voice. And within the last 2 months, we've started an advisory group, a chief's advisory group made up of solely young adults. We've also started a young adult citizen police academy. So we're in front of that issue, but we've got a lot of work to do.
The other thing, though, I think that we bring to the area is that we have been able to show a police department that had challenges, that had even been under federal, investigation, but has been able to make a turnaround.
The forum will publish its findings and recommendations for agencies across the nation.
Senators Ben Cardin and Barbara Mikulski team up with Congressman Steny Hoyer to express their concern over the closing of a Veterans Administration clinic in Greenbelt. The politicians sent a letter to Veterans Affairs Secretary Robert McDonald asking for a suitable replacement to help meet the needs of those residing in northern Prince George's. The treatment center is currently at maximum capacity. CTV spoke with one veteran who says he's disappointed.
It's ridiculous. This is the only clinic in this area. All the other clinics are south of D.C. They're in Camp Springs, Charlotte Hall, and other places. Now they're talking about moving this one to Camp Springs, and we really don't need that. We need something accessible to the veterans up north.
The facility is set to close at the end of September. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Byron Scott.